Hello, and thank you for taking time to watch this video. Now in today's video, I will be doing a catch up on the progress of the onions for the Giant Onion Growing Challenge. I'll also be looking at the progress on the chilies for the Longest Chili Challenge, and I'll also be showing you this. Now this was a gift that was given to me for Christmas, and it contains 40,000 seeds. That is going to take a long time to sow all of those. I'm Gang Gang. Welcome to the channel, Gang Gang and Peanuts, 2 peas in a pod. Now, let's start with showing you the progress of my giant onions for the Giant Onion Growing Challenge 24-25. Now, about a week, maybe 10 days ago, I moved them out of these smaller pots and I put them into a bigger pot. And I believe the size of this pot is 11 or 12 centimetres. And I potted them on using a mixture of 2 parts sifted compost and 1 part vermiculite. And here they are. So when I potted these on, I potted them into a mix of 2 parts sifted compost and 1 part vermiculite. And I also added some charge. And when I potted them on, I also dusted them with some mycorrhizal fungi. And they're not doing too bad. They are a little bit burned at the top. I don't know if you can see that. I think that may be down to the fan or the lights. Maybe they're a bit near to the lights, or they're either overwatered or underwatered, but I don't think that's the case. So if you've got any ideas as to why the tips may be just going yellow, let me know. So there we are. I haven't got a tape measure. I can't tell you how tall they are, but they seem okay. The only thing is they're starting to get bigger than the Vitopod, so I think I'm going to have to address that problem. There we are, the giant onions for the Giant Onion Growing Challenge 24-25. Now, as well as taking part in the Giant Onion Growing Challenge, I'm also doing the Longest Chili Challenge. And I sowed the seeds a couple of weeks ago, and here they are. Now, I sowed 2 seeds in each cell, and they were pre-soaked in some cold tea. And as you can see, these are the Joe's Long, and they've come up, both seeds in each cell. I sowed some others as well. These are different chili varieties, and they've all come up also. So maybe using the tea has helped, although not everything was successful. I have some here. They are a Torino de Toro. They're more of a pepper really, I think, than a chili, but there's no show, so I may have to sow these again. But that's the progress with the chili seeds, and it won't be long before I'm going to pop them up individually and then start to spoil them so they grow into big, strong plants that will give me the longest chili. And talking of chili plants, I recently got a gift given to me for a birthday. And a friend of mine knew I was taking part in the chili challenge, and they gave me this. And this is a little kit to grow foot-long chili peppers. It's got everything in it: the seeds, a mini propagator, pots, plant markers, and even some compost. So in the coming weeks, I'll be sowing those as well. Now with these chilies, the compost feels a little bit dry where they've been in the heat and the fan in the propagator. So I'm going to give them a little bit of a watering, and I'm using water from the water butt, and it is warm. It's been inside overnight, so it warms it up. And I'll just give them a little bit of a watering, because I think at this stage they're going to need to be kept quite moist and quite warm in that propagator, because they are, after all, a warm weather plant. Where they come from in the world, the temperatures and the climate is a lot different to here in the UK. So I'll leave them in there for a while, let them absorb some water, and I'll show you what else I'm doing. Now, something else I'm going to be looking at today is this. Let's put it the right way up. Is this. And this was a gift that was given to me at Christmas, and it has 70 different varieties of herbs, flowers and vegetables. And it contains 40,000 seeds. That would take a lifetime to plant and grow all of those. But I've looked on the back and there are one or two that I'm quite interested in. And there is an eggplant or an aubergine called a long purple. I've not grown aubergines before. I did see a video recently on Jason's channel, Allotment of the Dead, and he was sowing some aubergines. So this is probably the time of the year to start them off. So I will be starting some of these off in the next few days. And also on here, there are quite a variety of brassicas. And some of them are a summer cabbage. So I'll be starting some of those off soon as well. Which reminds me about some seeds that were sent to me recently by Jimmy at Plot 41B. And they were some Cornish giant cabbage seeds. And I've read up a little bit about these, and apparently they also need quite a long growing season. So I'll be starting to sow these seeds, and I'm probably going to do that today. And I'll show you how I do it. Okay, so that's the usual thing with sowing. We need a pot or a container, and we need some compost. So I'm going to fill one of these little pots with some of this compost, which is 2 parts sifted compost, 1 part vermiculite, my favoured mixture when sowing seeds. I should make a small indent there, and I'll take one of these seeds if I can get it. Oh, I don't want to drop it. There we are. That is a tiny, tiny little seed. And I shall pop it on there. And then I'll cover that with vermiculite. There we are. I'll water that from the bottom, and hopefully that will germinate in the next week or so, and I'm on my way to growing a giant cabbage, hopefully. So there we are. I'll pop them in there, let them absorb some of the water up from the bottom into the compost, add a label, and once they've absorbed some water up, I'll pop them into the propagator. Yeah, that's looking good. So that's the giant cabbage sown, and hopefully we'll see some results with the seedlings popping through very soon. Now also, in the next few days, I'm going to be sowing some cabbage. And the cabbage I'm sowing is a Hispy F1. And this is a new variety to me, so I'm looking forward to see how this comes out. And this is a summer cabbage. So that will be being sown soon. And some broccoli purple rain. Again, a completely new variety to me. And these can be sown in January. And I'll sow these at the same time. And as well as those, I will be sowing some peas. I'll be sowing some of these. These are a pea called Early Onward. And I normally sow these in modules in a container or in a gutter. And if you want to see how I sow peas in a gutter, you can look at a previous video I made all about sowing peas in a gutter. I'll also be delving into this box of 70 varieties and 40,000 seeds, and that should keep me busy for a little while. I'll be starting off foot-long chilies that were given to me as a gift, and not long now I will be sowing some tomatoes. And if you saw my previous video, if you haven't seen it, go and have a look, because I have some seeds to give away to anyone that wants to join me on a tomato grow along. And they were these 5 varieties. And just to remind you, they were a Dirty Curty, which I absolutely love the name of, a Great Scott, an Eagle Smiley, and that looks like a fabulous little tomato. There's also a Chuppa Chups, which is this one, and the one that looks absolutely the best of all to me is an Accordion Cherry. And unfortunately, they are now sold out of these at Tomato Revolution, but I do have a few still. So if you would like some of these seeds to join me on a tomato grow along that ultimately ends in a taste test, leave a comment down below letting me know, and I'll arrange to get some of these seeds to you. So, with all these seeds, I'm going to be pretty busy over the next few weeks. And what I'll do is I'll make a video about what I'm sowing and how I sow it. And the progress of the onions and the chilies as they grow along. So, this is Gang and Peanuts, 2 peas in a pod, and as ever, until next time, take care. Bye.